Welcome to the Peak News. I'm Chaim Goldman, the Watchman. You're listening to AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer. Welcome to the Peak, and so happy to have those new disclaimers on the show. That must mean we're doing something right if the corporate needs to have a disclaimer on us. So it doesn't necessarily reflect their opinion. But, it doesn't necessarily reflect mine either. We're just trying to present the news to you, good commentary, put things in context, help you live your life in a better way, serve your community, your family, your business. That's what the media is supposed to be doing, but we've lost our way, I'll have to admit. We really have lost our way to the point where every day I'm having to rewire my brain to say, you know what, I know the media is supposed to be this, but this is what most people expect the media to be. And so, you can't move too quickly between those two things because people expect something. And then you think you're doing your job and people are saying that's not what you're supposed to be doing. But you know that it is. And yet, you look around the rest of the media in town and you're wondering, why aren't they telling these stories? They have many more resources than we do. They've been around a really long time. They have employees and big buildings and all this other stuff. We just have a lot of people running around on the streets trying to dig up information and bring it to you here on the radio and on our website. Why aren't they doing this? Why aren't these stories being told? And the number one, which is, if you've been following us and being with us, and thank you for doing that, if you consider yourself a fan of the Peak News, we really appreciate that, is this Mayor Yemi story that broke 2 weeks ago, Thursday afternoon, November 21st, right after we went off the air. It was so frustrating to wait all weekend, but it made us pause and have to think about how we were going to approach things. What really surprised us is when we got to Monday, and basically the press hadn't covered it at all. Except for a couple little things, and most are still haven't really heard much at all. Some nothing from some of the big broadcast and print publications in town, and that is the story of this hate crime hoax that happened during the 2023 mayoral election in Colorado Springs. It was seen as a hate crime. It looked sort of like a hoax. Now there are federal charges against people that's claiming that it was a hoax, but it hasn't gone to trial. It's going to trial, I believe, in January. So we don't know all of these things. You can put like alleged or alleged, however that's pronounced, in front of everything that we say in case we forget to do it. But the big news that broke 2 weeks ago is that possibly from the Daily Wire, and you can get that on the dailywire.com, you can get it off of our website at thepeak.news, the link to it, is that Mayor Yemi possibly knew about this hoax being perpetrated for his benefit before, during, and after, had pretty deep relationship with the people involved, and when this is the big deal, when the FBI came to question him about it, that he lied about it. And yet, the FBI, according to this Daily Wire article, decided to not press charges. Why? Because he's the first black mayor of Colorado Springs, actually more officially the first elected black mayor of Colorado Springs. We can't do that. So that race card got played, special protection, everything else. So it's a big story, but we've had very little. But as it turns out that we at the Peak, a lot of associated stories we were already looking into and chasing down, and so we were able to come out and put out 3 shows last week. This is our second show. We're doing sort of a half show on it today. To update you what's going on, because it's hard to get information, but we're digging and we're trying to do what the media is supposed to do. Now, what we've been doing has been upsetting to some people, and that's okay. There's a great quote from George Orwell, something along the lines of, journalism is printing what other people don't want you to, everything else is public relations, something like that, and that's true. But we're trying to be fair, and in fact, I had a chance to speak face-to-face with Mayor Yemi yesterday, and I'm going to tell you about that a little bit later in the program. So we here at the Peak, here on Education and Media Thursday, or Media and Education Thursday, we are going through this hour with Jordan Baldwin, who of First Amendment Media, who is our #1 citizen journalist in the investigative side. Jordan Baldwin, thanks for being on the. You're a regular here now. Thanks for being on the Peak.
It's great to be back. Thanks for having me.
So we're going to be doing some headlines coming up next, including the HD16 race the recount. It's been determined, and we'll let you know about that when we come back. Also, very exciting, saw a great fun article in the Gazette a couple weeks ago. A 12-year-old girl, 6th grader, from a D20 school district is petitioning. She wants her snow days back. And I love everybody who takes action, but she's going to be in the studio today, and then we're going to be updating you more what we know about did Mayor Yemi know, and more. You're listening to The Peak. I'm Chaim Goldman, the Watchman. So glad you're here. We'll be right back. Okay. So you're calling me Beckman. Where's my phone? Calling you now. We're good? Hello, 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 hello. I'm not hearing myself, James, or her. Check, 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 check. There we go. Check. Yeah. Wait. Whoa. Stop. I'm I'm hearing the commercial, so I assume that's a live feed. And I heard yeah, minute and a half. Hey. Yeah. We figured that out. Yeah, it was James is running it. We got a little mixed up. So, okay, thank you. Appreciate that. But are you getting the live stream? Okay. Thank you, Zach. Love you. Bye. Okay. We're back in 30. Welcome back to the Peak News. I'm Chaim Goldman, the Watchman. You're listening to AM 1460 and FM 101.1. The Answer. This is Media and Education Day, and now we are going into headlines. We have Jordan Baldwin here, and we have our newest House District Rep for Colorado, HD 16, on the line. So the question is it Rebecca Kelty or Stephanie Vio? I think it's Rebecca Kelty. Rebecca Kelty, welcome to the Peak. Well, congratulations for this. We just got the news that the recount, which was done because at the end of the counting of the normal votes for House District 16 here in the Springs for the representative from HD 16 for the Colorado legislature go up to the House, you had 7 votes. And so it was an automatic recount because anything from 0.5, and this is into the infinitesimal decimals, 7 votes. But in the end, the official count gave you what kind of lead, Rebecca? 3 votes. 3 votes. Congratulations. I figured that out. That is 0.000073. It's 0.073% of the vote. So folks, if you don't think every vote counts, here's proof that it does. So first of all, is this definitive, Rebecca? Or with that few votes, is there a possibility that current Representative Vigil has any legal remedies here, or is this definitive as far as you know? Oh, she did. Right. Well, that was before. Now, do you know, are you the last of the counts to come in? Is everything settled now? As long as this is settled, is everything settled now as far as the makeup of the House here in Colorado? Right. Right. Yours was the one that was by a hair's breadth. So what does that mean effectively if that all comes in now that you've come in? Is there now no longer a supermajority in the House? which is still very powerful thing for the Democrats to have here. And if people didn't know, what we were looking at is for the last legislative session, for the last couple of years, there was a supermajority of 2/3 in the House. There was 1 vote short in the Senate, and at this election, it was looking at the possibility that both the Senate and the House could be supermajorities. But on the flip side, even though a lot of America went more red with a red wave, Colorado didn't so much, but this is very significant that there's no supermajority now in the House or the Senate. Okay, so now that it's looking like you're going to be the House rep, what is it that you want to get done? What is it you think you can get done as you go as a freshman representative to the Gold Dome? Okay, Rebecca Kelty, we actually have you scheduled for next Tuesday on the Peak, on our Government and Politics Day. So we'll prepare for that and get more information from you then. But thank you for stepping out of orientation in order to come on the Peak today. Were we your first radio interview? Did we get in first? Oh, hey, there we go. Another Peak exclusive. We love that. Thanks so much, Rebecca, and congratulations for your 3-vote win. Okay, and we'll see you on the Peak next week. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay, back to Jordan Baldwin real quick, because you were there last night. There was a big rigmarole at the D11 school board meeting last night. There was some buzz out there that the school board was going to possibly not take up the master agreement with the teachers unions, which would effectively, would eliminate teachers unions from El Paso County. So that's a big deal. I know that didn't exactly happen, and they're leaning toward next week, but what did you experience there last night? There were a lot of people, including, I see here, 300 members from the Colorado Springs Educational Association that were fighting for this collective bargaining agreement to remain.
Yes, so there was a lot of people. I mean, I'd say hundreds, maybe over 100, and there was a lot from each side, but the reality is that they didn't really make a decision, and the bargaining is going to continue through June. So we had a lot of footage. We got some audio, possibly, that we're going to bring some clips to you from that meeting. But yeah, the turnout was just overwhelming. I've never seen anything like it.
I don't know your count. I know you were in some, but it said over 300 just from those that were showing up to be pro-union.
Absolutely. I'd say that's accurate. And we were one of the only local media sources in the room that stayed in the room that I could see. And we stayed there to report on it, and we hopefully will be getting you some audio clips on that.
Okay, so more on that to come, but it was sort of a build-up, but it didn't happen last night, but we wanted to mention it because this does look to be something that's going to be a long-term story and a big fight. Okay, last minute, we have about a minute on this. CEO of Inside Out Youth Services in Colorado Springs stepping down, new co-director model underway. I know you know a lot about this Inside Out Youth Services, so can you just brief us on that, because this is in the news that they will be, I guess, getting a new director. They support LGBTQ youths in Colorado.
Yeah, so I would say that we've been looking into Inside Out for a long time. Inside Out Youth Services is a drop-in center for LGBTQ youth, and basically there's a lot of controversy around Inside Out Youth Services. If you look into some of the laws, the youth right to homeless youth right to shelter and services, some of these other laws that are out there. These drop-in centers come in and they cater to kids. There's a lot of potential problems that we were looking into, but this new model doesn't seem to be getting any better, so we're going to stay on it, and we're going to keep bringing you more information on Inside Out Youth Services.
Okay. Thank you, Jordan Baldwin. That's headlines. When we come back, we have Emily Beckman, a 6th grader from D20, who is fighting for snow days. And I love what she's doing. I love when people take action, especially youth. I'm Chaim Goldman, the Watchman. Stick around. You're here on Media and Education Day. We'll be right back. Okay, you bring her in and you get her settled and come on in. Let's put her here.
And then I actually gotta squeeze past you guys.
Have a seat there. Make sure you're.
You sit down.
Have a seat.
Yeah, you're the one. I'm just here.
Here's your headphones.
I'm a chaperone.
Yes. And then you control the volume with this dial, and then you'll talk at an angle.
Very close.
Just like that. Perfect.
That's good. I just want to make sure you can see her in the camera.
I don't think it's coming back yet.
Talk louder.
Hello?
We got volume. There's a volume there where the wire goes in. Oh, you won't hear it now because we're not on the air. You'll hear it. You should be hearing the commercial though.
Yeah.
You're hearing commercials? Okay.
It's something about Bob.
Okay. What's going
So apparently I have to go on to Meta Business Suite to go
So-
live on Facebook.
Oh, so we weren't streaming on Facebook?
We're streaming on YouTube, not
Okay.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Um,
There's a second step, I guess.
Yes. Don't know how to do that one.
You don't? Okay.
No.
You gotta talk to Zach. It's been like a month, 2 months we've been doing this. You gotta have this stuff like written down. So we're not gonna be doing a Facebook Live then? I mean, Zach just needs to write it down, and if Matt's here, he knows how to do it, but. Okay, we're back in a minute and a half.
Wait, how do I know how much time is left?
I'll tell you, 'cause we have about 5 minutes, so if you see me do this, that means wrap it up. Means like about 10 seconds, like finish your thought and give it back to me. So that we can, because we only have 5.5 minutes for this segment, so to get through those questions, you'll do about a minute for each one. But and when you hear music at the end, then I have to get it back.
Then they,
That's where
then they pull it out of the room.
That's where I have to. That's when I have to say goodbye. Okay. Okay. 45 seconds. What are we doing?
Not well.
Okay. I'll just have to post the video. That's why I roll the video off to post it on Facebook later.
Okay. I'll get it rolling
Okay.
after this break
Okay.
if I can contact you today.
Yeah. Find out. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome back to the Peak News. I'm Chaim Goldman, the Watchman. You're listening to AM 1460 and FM 101.1. The answer and no. To answer the musical question, we don't lie to you. That's what the mainstream media does. We're here to tell you the truth and to bring you the information that is really, interesting and all-encompassing about our region. I know as of late that we've become this What Did Yemi Know, Mayor Yemi Know channel, because it's a big story, but we're making sure to cover other things. I saw this wonderful article in the Gazette a couple of weeks ago. Excuse me. Colorado Springs student starts petition to reinstate traditional snow days, and we have this youth in our studio today, Emily Beckman. She's a D20 Discovery Canyon 6th grader. Emily, welcome to the Peak.
Hello.
So what are your favorite subjects? What interests you in school the most?
So far, my favorite subjects are math and science, because in science there's always more to learn, and in math there's always more problems and more numbers.
Okay, so you like solving problems.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's good. That's a good thing when you want to become active, civically active here. So what gave you this idea to try to protect the snow days, and what's the story behind it? I guess your snow days already got used up already with the first storm.
My idea was about 30 minutes before class ended at my school, our teacher asked us what the greatest human invention was. And me, being me, I answered, snow days. And my friends and I were talking about it, and I said, they're taking away the snow days. And they're just like, what do you mean by they're taking away our snow days? So I explained to them that they're taking them away to make the year end quicker, and they said, well, I kind of want snow days back. And I said, me too. So after that, we started a petition.
Okay, so the story is, I guess, and correct me if I don't have this right, but after all this remote learning that happened during COVID, it was decided after 2 snow days there would be remote learning if you couldn't actually get to school, and those got used up in this first big snowstorm. So you were looking at like no actual go outside and play snow days for the rest of the year.
Yeah. That made me sad.
So you started this petition. How is the petition going?
So far, it's going pretty well. We have over 3,000 signatures and a lot of support from those people.
And so who's signing it? Can anybody sign it? Is it just students or what are you doing?
Anybody can sign it who feels like we should get our snow days again, but I mean, you don't have to sign it, and it's really for anyone to sign.
Okay, is this an online petition or a physical?
Online.
Online. So what, is there a website for that we can share with people? Should they be in D20? I would say, you know what, be in D20, be a D20 resident if you're gonna do that, but is there a website they can go to sign the petition?
Yeah, it's on change.org.
Under what? What do they look up? Do you remember?
No.
I forgot to ask you this before. I didn't think about it being an online petition, being old-fashioned as I am. So on change.org, could they go and maybe put in snow days or something like that, or D20 snow days, or we'll have to figure it out. We'll put it on the website. Sorry, we don't have that in front of you. So in the final about minute or so that we have, what happens with the petition now? What's the next step after this? Are you going to hit a certain number of signatures, or is there a date you're shooting for?
We're trying to get to 5,000, but the school board meeting is sometime next week. So then we're going to do a speech, and we're going to basically ask them, hey, can you have the snow days be on the 6 built-in days that we are supposed to have snow days? And can you make it so that whenever the Air Force is closed, so is D20, because it's not safe if the Air Force is closed and D20 is not.
Okay, so those are the 2 points of the petition.
Yeah.
Okay, have you talked to any school board members about this? Yeah?
One of my friends, they got a chance to meet the superintendent, so they talked to the superintendent about it, and they kind of agree with us.
Okay, well, you may want to do something. You know what lobbying is? Do you know that phrase? That's the people who hang out in the lobby and try to influence people before the vote comes up. So I want to suggest to you that it may be good for you to just get to the other school board members. I know some of them, so I can let you know, but you can find them there and let them know this is going on ahead of time. What do you think about that?
I think that sounds really good, yeah.
Okay, just real final. Any new plans for you? What's your next? You gonna run for mayor, maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay, we got a maybe from Emily Beckman. Emily, thanks so much for being on the Peak. You're listening to the Peak News. We'll be back after this quick national news break talking more about, well, what we found out that no one else is digging up about the Yemi deal.
Excellent job.
Wonderful. Thank you. That was awesome.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Now we gotta go figure out how to lobby there. Maybe
Good
should.
idea.
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Should I give this back?
Good. Oh, you can keep it. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm
Keep it going.
in front
Yeah.
of.
You too.
Yeah.
Okay, Jordan. Very organized, very definitive. Don't talk around the subject. Just straightforward stuff, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
was felt as far south as San Francisco. On Wall Street, the Dow down by
Okay.
448 points.
More drop down, go live.
About 34.
Okay.
More details at SLAnews.com.
And if I'm not getting the feed, what does that mean? Okay, it's on. It says connect streaming software to go live.
Here, you got 30 seconds.
Okay. Well, sounds like a lost cause to me.
Bro, you got 5 seconds. You gotta be back. Welcome back to the Peak News. I'm Chaim Goldman, the Watchman. You're listening to AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer. And, I ran out of time to say this at the end of the last segment, but if a 12-year-old is doing that, what are you doing? Okay? I don't like passive listeners here. I want you to grab onto something, do something to make a difference. And I love this. We all loved our snow days growing up. Could you imagine looking outside? There's so much snow you can't get the car out of the driveway, and you're told log into Zoom. We're having school anyway. Jordan, that just depresses me to no end. So I love what Emily's doing. She has a great future. But what are you doing? Are you doing something out there in the community? Are you digging? Are you talking? Are you working? To make it better. And that's what we do here at the Peak. We're doing it from the media side, and we'd love you to join us. Go to thepeak.news, find out all about us, go to our citizen journalist page or internship page if you're of that age bracket, and come join us here and help us say the quiet stuff out loud. And our sponsors help us say the quiet stuff out loud. And I want to give a shout out to one of our gold sponsors, John Graham Holmes. John Graham's a good friend of mine. He was also president of school board in D49. He served on the D49 school board. And John Graham Holmes taking the drama out of home buying and selling while saving you money too. And you can go on our website for all of our sponsors. We have hot links to there. Listen to the commercials, patronize them because they're doing something. They're putting their money down to pay for what we do here in order to provide this wonderful service to you. So let's get to the story at hand. We are somewhat calling this, I'm calling it What Did Yemi Know, or Did Yemi Know number 5, maybe it's 4.5. Last week we did a whole bunch of episodes, and please go to our website. You can get to it from our homepage, or we have to the special website we have set up where we're putting more and more information all the time, all the programs we're doing on it. Yesterday we had Wayne Williams, who was running against Yemi during it. He was here. We're going to get that clip up there. So just more and more information, because that's what the media is supposed to do, is get you good information so you can make a decision. We don't make one for you, you make it. So what is this story? If you haven't heard it, well, it started with a Daily Wire article 2 weeks ago regarding these hate crime hoax charges that had come out against 3 individuals, that they had faked a hate crime for the benefit of candidate Mobilade, who ended up winning. A lot of controversy around that, but what the Daily Wire article said is when the FBI came to interview Mayor Yemi, he lied about his association with these people, about his knowledge of it, about things on there, and we're trying to get to the bottom of it. We did these 3 shows last week. You can go thepeak.news/hate crime hoax, and go on there and listen to those shows as we continue to do that. Now, the media still is basically silent on this. They're reporting little bits, but it's more along the lines of the press release. Yemi released a press release, or this person said that, but it's not really investigative reporting. You do investigative reporting, you got to get out there and work your tush off, if you know what I'm saying. You got to work it hard, and Jordan Baldwin does that, and I'm really impressed by the work of this young man who's been with us for, 4 or 5 months. We got together, and he's been doing a great job because he had already been researching a lot of stuff tangential to the story, so he had the context. So Jordan, thank you for all that you're doing, and what I wanted you to add today, because we don't want to just recycle this story. Of course, we recap it because people may not even know, because the media is not talking about it, but you've been out for the past week running around talking to people that other people aren't talking to, people very much at the center of the story. What can the Peak News add to the data points on this story right now?
Yeah, so like you said, I was running around connecting with everybody on all sides, everybody I could, and a lot of people told me a lot of different things. But one of the main things I noticed from the side of people that are against Family Flavors, The Slide, Derek, people who contacted us that were concerned, was that...
And this Derek Bernard is the person at the center of it, who also was just convicted of hiring someone to murder another person a few weeks ago. So very, a lot of stuff, a lot of tangents on this.
Right, correct. And, these people genuinely seem scared of Derek, and I'll be honest, there's many different things they accused him of. But the first person I made contact with was a former roommate of Flyjack. And
Flyjack is?
Flyjack is the person that he is convicted of ordering the murder on. And the person he was convicted of ordering that murder on had this roommate They reached out to us, and this roommate basically talked to us about Derek, talked to us about the conviction. They were actually at the court case. And there was other people, former business associates, that reached out to us. They showed us evidence, and these people want to see justice for the murder of Fly Jack, and rightfully so. And we got to keep in mind here that the details around this case are sealed, and all these cases, and the alleged trigger man hasn't even been found guilty yet on this murder.
Right, so that's interesting, and I talked to George Brockler, who was a DA in District 23 now, the new judicial district, and he said this is okay, this can happen, but I sort of find it weird that this person who is supposedly the murderer of Fly Jack is out walking the streets, because we don't have a way to limit bail until January 1st. You just maybe voted on that for the in the last election to add that. So he has not been found guilty of the murder, and yet this person, Derek Bernard, has been found guilty of hiring him for the murder. That would seem strange to me, but legally, I guess it's okay, although it seems weird. What else? Who else have you spoken to, and what have they given us that adds to, trying to help discern? Did Yemi know about it, or did he not?
Yeah, so I reached out to Derek over Facebook, Derek Bernard, and I was able to get a hold of Ashley Trinity Blackcloud, one of the other people listed in the indictment. But keep in mind, like Blackcloud, these people haven't been found guilty yet. The trial's coming up. So it almost seems like the court of public opinion is kind of out on some of these things, and in connection to the relationship with Mayor Yemi. And it really made me think, with as many claims as I had heard about family flavors to Slide and Derek, what does it imply for Yemi if he was closely connected to these people, and these people are sending texts back saying things like, I have the information you requested, when Yemi's side of those texts has been redacted from the whole indictment.
Now, we had Darcy Shanig here on Monday of last week, and she was saying that these groups are communist socialist groups. They deny that claim when you've been speaking with them.
Yeah. Basically, they said they did deny that they're Marxist socialist. I looked into it, and it seems that they are still operating. They are connected and backed by many important people, Mayor Yemi previously being one of them. They wanted to make it known that they weren't Marxists or socialists, but they feel that they were targeted because of reporting on high-level corruption on past stories.
And when you say they're still operating as a media organization, because that's what they have been.
Correct. They said Derek has stepped down from that organization on the board. He stepped down from the board, but they still are operating and putting on events. They put on many community events, and Mayor Yemi used to go to a lot of those events.
Okay. And so now this Derek Bernard professes innocence. So he said that he did not order this murder.
Correct. He's saying he was set up.
Okay. And you've been able to, through social media, even though he's in jail, there's been communications.
Correct.
Okay, we're not exactly sure how that's going on, but we verified that this is his Facebook account, and we're not sure if it's directly him or him communicating some way through a family member, but we're quite confident that with the responses and what you've been getting, that we actually have communication with this Derek Bernard.
Yeah, we've been working very hard to verify all of this stuff, double verify all of this stuff.
So moving forward, really, really quickly, what we're working on. First of all, I got the chance to speak face-to-face with Mayor Yemi yesterday, and nothing was on the record, and so I'm just sharing this, what I said to him, because he is continuing to put out statements, the official statements, that he was not involved with the hate crime hoax, but not answering any questions directly related to the accusations of the Daily Wire article. And I said to him, well, it's hard for us to tell the story. We're really not getting anything from your side. And he said, well, that's because we don't want to interfere with this case that's going on. And we cleared up. I said, well, I don't want you to comment to the case. I want to comment to the Daily Wire accusations. And he said, okay, this is noted. Because I said, it's very hard for us to be fair and balanced when we basically have no information from your side. So I'm hoping that information will be coming forth. I think all the media would appreciate that. But what are the things that you're chasing down otherwise here, Jordan, for us to hopefully get more clarity on the story, and find out, is Yemi innocent? His name should be cleared, or should he be held accountable at some level? But either way, the story's just hanging out there because in some ways there's no reporting being done.
Yeah, so the piece of evidence that we obtained and broke here on the peak of the Dear Yemi video that was posted on the Family Flavors the Slide YouTube channel, we had a clip of that I read, and if that's not on the site, you can find that on the site, that clip.
Yeah, we should have that up on the MJ.
So basically, that's what led us to look into this a little bit more, and that video is very important because that basically outlines the fallout between Family Flavors the Slide and Mayor Yemi, all of this stuff that was going on.
Post-election.
Correct. Well, a year ago that was
Yeah.
posted, so right around that time, and that's where we're looking into all of this to establish a timeline to bring to you in a future segment that we're going to label the fallout.
Okay. This story, people may ask, why do you keep following the story? And because there's stuff here. There is. And now, whether it's not that Yemi lied to the federal government or not, that's a whole other thing. But it's a much bigger story. It's allowing us to put things out there that we wish the media had put out in the past. But you know what? We here at the Peak, we say the quiet stuff out loud, and so that is our mandate, which all the media should have. And so we're doing that. When we come back with Jordan Baldwin, why is the local media remaining so silent on such a big story? It's conjecture what we have, and I can't put people on the record, but we're going to tell you as journalists what we think is going on. You're listening to The Peak. We'll be right back. Cool.
All right. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure on that last question, so I was like, it's better keep it general and play it safe, but we'll bring it to you.
Okay.
But I think it was. It was after.
Yeah. Well, no, it was. Yeah, it was a year ago because he was inaugurated in June.
Got to be up by 4:50.
4:50. And what's the topic?
It's the second one on liberal women. I'm gonna get him in.
Okay, but it goes another angle?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna get him in to record some more.
Yeah, we need those shorts. We've been able to do, I don't know whatever happened with these. We have these, we can play these 1-minute shorts with a tag on the other radio stations. Chris has offered that since we came back on the air in October. We haven't done it. We could be getting Jim's rants and free publicity and everything. We just need to.
If you need help, I use an AI program. It tags them, labels them, puts captions
Well, it
up.
would be an audio.
No, this is just audio on the radio.
Okay.
It's a radio thing. We just need to get them. We need to get them cut.
Okay.
So supposedly there's some, and Chris liked them, but nobody ever sent them to me. So if you can.
Sure.
So, but yeah, free publicity we could get for Jim and the show. So. Okay, so you see what I have written there on 5? Page 5. So.
I have some things written down of future investigations and also what we had said to move, that the story has challenged me as a journalist more than ever.
Okay, but that was supposed to be the last segment. Those few.
We can leave that out.
Okay.
So you said segment 5?
Yeah, segment 5. These are.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, these are the things that
Okay.
Is there anything else that you're thinking that's not on that list that might be a?
I would say
Cowardice?
special interest. Media
Right.
cabal, but yeah, money.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
money and special-
advertisers, special
advertisers
interest.
is a big one.
Yeah, that's number 4, special interest.
And fear too with this one.
Fear
if
of
you were to
covering
add
the
anything,
story.
yeah, that's a big one on this because I
Okay.
would say that's huge.
Fear, I'll put fear and cowardice together. Okay, we're back in about 40 seconds. So if I hand it to you, it's got to be like, 10,
I got it.
10, 20 seconds back because we have like 4 minutes to move through these points. So, okay, we're back. Welcome back to the Peak News. I'm Chaim Goldman, the Watchman. You're listening on AM 1460 and FM 101.1 The Answer. And we never got the Facebook going today, but we will be. We always video record it, and so we'll get the Facebook up today. Those of you who like to watch the videos, we're on YouTube streaming now, but sometimes we have technical difficulties. So in this final segment, which we're doing this, did Yemi know about this hate crime hoax, and did he lie to the feds and everything like that? The big, maybe even the bigger story, I don't know, it's going to depend how it ends up, whether it's bigger or not, but one that's like more systemic is the fact that the media has remained mostly silent, picking up on press releases little bits, but we haven't seen any investigative journalism. In fact, the first article that came out in the Gazette, some people said it sounds like it was written by a Yemi staffer. It was basically a statement from Yemi and an attack on the Daily Wire, with not substantiating anything about the Daily Wire other than say they don't fact check well. But there was no fact checking in their article. So this has been confusing us since the beginning, because when this broke on Thursday the 21st, we didn't have a show again until that Monday, the 25th, and we're like, we're going to be behind this story. We got nothing. And by the time we got there, we were still the ones basically breaking the story. Other than Richard Randall had it earlier in the morning. But we've seemingly, up until now, and I've been monitoring this for 2 weeks, have been the only ones that are really like talking to the people, other than, Dave Donaldson, who's great, Longinos Gonzalez, and other people that are outspoken. But actually going and digging is the kind of stuff that we're doing in citizen journalism. And we ask you to join us, because we knew this all along, that the stories weren't getting told. But why is the media remaining so silent? It's confusing, and I've even spoken to people off the record who go, look, I can't talk to you about this, people in the media, I can't talk to you, but this is what I think is going on. And so I just wanted to read down this. This is all conjecture, we don't know, because they're all different news organizations, but they seem to be acting in lockstep, because a week before the Yemi story came out, when the federal charges came down on these three people, it was in everything. You can find it, the 13th, 14th, 15th of November. A week later, they're not reporting on the story. So, what are some things? One is treading carefully, and I applaud that. We're doing that too. We're just a little more aggressive because we're lighter and maybe hungrier. So, treading carefully, making sure that you don't get ahead of the story and imply stuff innuendo, because there's real people involved and there are neighbors, right? Secondly, he's the mayor. So maybe people are protecting him, or they don't want to think this about them. I've said cognitive dissonance. The press has hardly ever asked him a hard question. So they may not think that this could be him. He's charming, he's a pastor, but we know that there's other things that are questionable that might make this more of a story, and not for us to dismiss it. Being the first black mayor, or first elected black mayor, that could be. That's the reason, according to the Daily Wire article, that the FBI wouldn't charge him. So is it possible that people are worried that if we go after them, it will be negative for the city? Now we're going after the first black mayor. But, as we get more into this no bad news in Colorado Springs and the power of advertisers and special interests, Jordan, what do you think about that? Could that be controlling the news here? Because having this happen and talking about it, could be bad for the city.
Yeah, I absolutely do. I think that we have the special interests that come in, and we have these media relationships that work themselves in. And then the advertisers that, these big corporations, they fund both sides, or these big groups that may fund both sides, and they don't want to offend, or they don't want to piss off these advertisers. So that's a major problem. And
the weird thing, they're working in lockstep, and I know this working in media, we're all in competition. I think we should work together on the news side, but we're in competition for ad dollars and listeners and everything. So for everybody to be doing, I have people say, hey, there's people pulling the strings. It's like, who? Is there a media cabal that's here controlling Colorado Springs and telling all of the broadcasters and the radio stations to not touch this? That to me, I don't know, but what I will say, fear and cowardice, because we have to deal with that, because this story is involving, violent people potentially, and big power and government and lots of other things, and we're challenged to not be fearful, and we're challenged to not be cowards. And so I know that that's out there, but you know what, we've committed to you that we're going to say the quiet stuff out loud, and so we will. And someone who always does say the quiet stuff out loud is Jim Miller, and here he is with the Peak Rants. Sorry, so I'll give you a little in the final. I just ran out.
I was just going to talk about how these protection orders came down right as we were looking into this in this daily, right around the time the Daily Wire article dropped. These protection orders come down. So
Okay.
right when people are trying to look into this, they bring the protection orders that come down, and there's a coordinated media silence alongside these protection orders. So that's very
Okay.
concerning
Okay.
because now it seems like nobody can really report on it.
Okay, so, I mean, I hate having things be disjointed, but you wanna throw that in for,
I mean,
If I
not
give
if
you
we're
20
not going to go there. I'd rather just.
you rather have that be another news item
Yeah,
later
yeah,
on?
yeah.
Like talking about, save that for next week?
I'll just say, I've talked to many people from many different sides. They don't agree on it a lot, but they all agree that Mayor Yemi needs to be more transparent and answer some of these questions.
Okay.
Make it really quick. And that's true.
Right. Okay. I'm so exhausted by the time I get to Thursday. One minute. Thank you for joining us on The Peak as we seek to say the quiet stuff out loud, the hard news, the feature news, everything in between. And we invite you to come join us, as Jordan Baldwin has, as a citizen journalist. We really, really mean this. Like, don't hang out. We have so many stories to tell. We need people to go out, to go to the meetings, to go talk to people, to do the things that are in your heart that you're interested in. Jordan really likes to go after the wild stuff. You may be more tame, that's fine. There's lots of stories to tell, and we want to tell it. So go on thepeak.news and find out about that. Also, we have this special page for everything regarding hate crime hoax that we can dig up, content we're doing and others are doing at thepeak.news/hate crime hoax. Jordan Baldwin, last thoughts on this story as we continue to tell it, and we'll continue to next week.
Yeah, so there are many parts on this story. I mean, many things, many conflicting parties involved at this point. But one thing that everybody I talked to agreed on was that this Daily Wire article is concerning, and they felt that Yemi needs to be more transparent about the questions around the DOJ handling of this and his statements to the FBI.
And he did run on a transparency, saying there would be more transparency. So we ask that of you, Mayor Yemi, please fill this in so we can have this information. Well, we air Monday through Thursday, so we're off tomorrow. So tune in at 3 for Dirk Hobbs and the Southern Colorado Business Forum and Digest. On Monday, that's our Business and Culture Day, and we have Chef Jay Gust of Pizzeria Rustica. Is he bringing pizza? I hope he's bringing pizza. And on Tuesday, as we told you, Rebecca Kelty, our newest House rep, coming out of HD16, just won by 3 votes. She'll be our guest on government and politics Tuesday. Coming up next is the Larry Elder Show here on The Answer, so stick around for that. And check out our 150 podcasts, all of them, listen to all of them, at thepeak.news. The Peak, we say the quiet stuff out loud, and with your help, we'll say it even louder. Go on our website and donate, support for what we're doing here. You need to support local grassroots journalism in some way, somehow. Go on thepeak.news and support us. It's a giving time of year. Shalom.